Sophie, and today I'm here to do the mid-year book freakout tag. I got this idea to do this a little bit early from Brightness Katie Reads here on YouTube because she said, oh, I'm doing this tag early before everyone's sick of seeing it. So that's what I'm doing, trying to do this early before everyone's sick of seeing it. And also, disclaimer, I have this old lady haircut, but it's just for a while until it grows a little bit, but for now it's gonna look like I have a grandma's hair. That's fine, it's gonna grow out. And also, I'm gonna link some donation spots and petitions so you can donate in support of the Black Lives Matter movement. So yeah, let's get right into it. By the way, I've read like 44 books this year so far, but like 19 or 20 of them were rereads. So aside from those rereads, which obviously are usually books I love, I only have five-ish stars this year, so yeah, that's a thing. The first question is best book I've read in 2020 so far, and for that I have two questions. One of them is my absolute favorite, and the second one is like a close second, but it's not like an absolute favorite of the year. The favorite of the year so far is Gone Girl by Gillian Flynn. Holy shit, it's been a while since I've loved a book this much. I've watched the movie before I read this, so I knew what was going to happen, but what still captivated me even through knowing what was going to happen was the characters that were so complex, their motivations and their characteristics and their dynamic. It just kept me it put a spell on me, honestly. I was fascinated by it throughout the whole book. I tabbed a lot of it, and most of it is just character things, just character interactions, just characterization overall. And I think that's the strength of this book, is not being surprised about the plot twist. It's really seeing how good of a writer Gillian Flynn is in the way she can write character. I finished this, I had this feeling in me, my heart was like pumping hard, and I just couldn't stop like being bright-eyed and smiling because I just found a new favorite, and that's a feeling I haven't felt in quite a long time. So this is my favorite of the year so far. The other favorite is Ninth House by Leigh Bardugo. This book is weird because I read, I think, the first few pages back when it came out last year, and I didn't really, I look like a grandmother. My grandmother has this haircut, which is why it's bugging me. But anyways, I read the first few pages, wasn't really feeling it. My brain at the time wasn't in the mood for comprehending English, so I read it and did not know what the fuck was going on. And so I bought it physically because I know it's Leigh Bardugo, and I know I was gonna at least want to read it fully, because this is one of those books that people either love or hate throughout, and either love or hate the ending especially. And and I usually love those types of books. Those are usually some of my favorites, like books that are really polarizing. So I loved it. I loved it so much. I think the characterization is beautiful. Alex is such an amazing character. You can tell that Leigh Bardugo put so much thought into how she was made and so much heart into her as well. And I love the mystery. I love the resolution of the mystery. I love the magic system here. I overall just really love this book. Question 2 is best sequel I've read so far in 2020, and for that I have to say Wondersmith by Jessica Townsend. This book is the sequel to Nevermore, Trials of Morgan Crow. This is Wondersmith, the calling of Morgan Crow, and it's better. It's better than the first one. It has a school setting, but not as much focus on the school setting as I would normally love, because I love school settings, but I think the third book is going to focus on that a lot more. But overall, I just love the direction this book took with Morgan's character development and her friendships and all the really hard things that come with being a member of the Wonder Society. And it's just wonderful seeing her not really get along with the people who are supposed to be her closest friends, her new family, and Morgan just being so starved for a real family, and her relationship with Jupiter, her relationship with her Hawthorne, her little friend. I just love this book so much. It's obviously very predictable, seeing as it is middle grade, but it's just so much fun. I could not care less. Question number 3 is new release I haven't read yet, but want to. And for that, I think my main answer is Shortfall by Robert Jackson Bennett. This can't do this cover justice. It's beautiful. But this came out in April, and I just didn't want to read it as an ebook because I read the first one physically, and I also wanted to read this physically, but also it was ridiculously expensive. So then came my birthday, and I had a ridiculous amount of money from my birthday, so hence this book. I am actually reading it right now. I'm 180 pages through. This book is like almost 500 pages, I think. I'm really liking it. I think the same way as the first one. These characters are not really characters that make me cry over, that I have like an overly emotional attachment to, which is for books I love a lot, but I just really enjoy the story. I'm loving the villain, by the way. The villain, he's so funny. I don't know, I just love him. And overall, just really love this world and this magic system, and I'm really liking it, and I can't wait to finish it. Number 4 is most anticipated release for the second half of the year, and how could I say something else other than Rhythm of War by Sanderson, the fourth book in the Stormlight Archive, also known as my favorite series of all time. I am so hyped for Rhythm of War. You have no idea. Like, I can't stop thinking about Stormlight. I can't stop thinking about Stormlight since I read it in November 2018, but also it's like a reality that we're 5 months away from Rhythm of War, and I am actually freaking out. I already reread Words of Radiance this year. I'm gonna reread Oathbringer closer to the release, just so I can like not read it now and forget a bunch of stuff until then. But I've been also just listening to the audiobook of just Kaladin's present chapters in The Way of Kings because he is my favorite character of all time. His arc in The Way of Kings is something I really need right now, like him overcoming depression is like something I'm really needing right now, and I love it so much, and I cannot wait for Rhythm of War. There are also a few others like Fires of Vengeance, the second book in the Rage of Dragons series. There's also The Invisible Life of Addie LaRue by Victoria Schwab. There's also A Deadly Education by Naomi Novik, Over the Woodward Wall by Sean McGuire. There's the third Poppy War book. I have not read the second, but it will soon. It's on its way here. And just overall like really pumped for the second half of the year. It's gonna have so many cool as shit releases, and I can't wait. 5 is Biggest Disappointment, and for that I have 2 books. This first one I actually liked. It's just that it's Dark Places by Gillian Flynn. I read this 2 months after reading Gone Girl, which is my favorite books of all time, and I liked it. And I was missing some life in here, you know. I think it's very well written, well characterized. I did not like the resolution of the mystery, but I wanted another Gone Girl, and I've read all of Gillian Flynn's books by this point, and I noticed that I'm not gonna have another Gone Girl, and that's unfortunate, but that's the reality. The other one that I wanted to talk about is Scythe by Neil Shusterman. I just talked about this on my May wrap-up. It's the last book I read in May, if you want to check that out. And I wasn't really expecting to love it, but I was expecting to be entertained by it. You know, that's the minimum I ask. Let me be entertained for a while. This book is literally so boring. And it's not boring necessarily because of the plot. It's boring because the writer writes with no emotion whatsoever, and so I just couldn't be excited about anything that was going on after the second act was over. Just could not be excited. It was so boring and plain and clinical, and for Biggest Disappointment, I also forgot to talk about The Girl in the Stars by Mark Lawrence. Mark Lawrence is not one of my favorite writers, but he did write one of my favorite series of all time, The Book of the Ancestor, and this new series, The Girl in the Stars, the name of the series is The Book of the Ice, is set in the same world, and it's gonna answer a little bit more of the answers of the past of this world, how this world came to be, who are the missing, and overall, I just didn't feel very connected through the book for a good part of it. I love the twists, though. I love the twists. But I just started feeling connected throughout the last bit. And also, I don't know why my brain just refused to process English at that time, because if you haven't noticed, I am Brazilian and I am not a native English speaker. And that shit just, he would say a paragraph, I'd have to read it like 5 times because I simply could not understand what was going on. And honestly, that's not a problem with me, okay? That's a problem with me, but also it's part Mark Lawrence, and I love him, but also, like, does he have to write sentences like that all the time? I don't know. Her biggest disappointment also, fuck, this is getting too long. This is also me putting in the clip later. Foul is Fair by Hannah Capin. I fucking hate that book. Honestly, I fucking hate it. It's supposed to be about this girl getting revenge on the men who sexually assaulted her, and she's in high school, and they're all in high school too. She was gang raped, and it's supposed to be like a Hamlet retelling with her getting revenge, but it ends up being about her and some dude and them being kings of the school and nobody can touch them and we're invincible and we're gonna kill somebody out here and make out over there. And it just got so obnoxious and about this girl's relationship when it's supposed to be about her taking revenge. I just got so angry. I read the last 50% and I was really hoping to like it. Like the premise is so cool. But I absolutely fucking hated that book. Next is Biggest Surprise, and I also have 2 books for this because I simply cannot pick one. And the first one is the actual biggest surprise, and it's Poppy War by R.F. Kuang. I also talked about this in my May wrap-up. I first read this book back in December 2018, and I hated it. Gave it 1 star, did not like it. But as I said back then, I was reading this book with a negative lens because after the end of the, I think, first or second part, this went in a direction I did not like, and so I read the rest of the book wanting to hate it. I picked this one up again, loved it, 4.5 out of 5 stars, really cool, really nice. The audiobook is also a good way. It's not outstanding, but it's fun, and the second one is on its way. The other book is Great Hunt by Robert Jordan, the second book in the Wheel of Time. It's very floppy. I put this as Biggest Surprise because I didn't like The Eye of the World, the first book, and I couldn't put it in Biggest Disappointment because I started reading it last year and it's not really fair, but it was a really disappointing book. But then I picked this one up on audio, so much fun, had a lot more focus on characters I have come to love and really enjoy their story, and it was just so much better than the first one, and I just was pleasantly surprised. And I was disappointed by the third book. Also, for Biggest Surprise, I'm putting this clip in later because I forgot to talk about it. I wanted to mention 2 books. First one is Something to Talk About by Meryl Wilsner. This is a romance, and a female-female romance between this famous actress and screenwriter and her secretary, which I unexpectedly really liked. And also, I think could be my biggest surprise because I don't know it physically, that's why I didn't remember. It's Get a Life, Chloe Brown by Talia Hibbert. Holy shit, I loved this book and I just thought I was gonna like it. I'm like, oh, this is fun. I loved it. It had the right amount of heart and romance and smut and simply like 2 people dealing with trauma and falling in love, and it's just so good. I really liked it. So those are also another 2 of my biggest surprises. Question 7 is favorite new author, debut, or new to you? And I have to say Kate Elizabeth Russell, the writer of My Dark Vanessa. It's not because necessarily her book was one of my new favorites, but it is because I think she's a fantastic writer who really knows what she's trying to do with her book, and she does it masterfully. So I'm gonna read anything she puts out from this day on. I wouldn't say she's a favorite author, but it's definitely someone I have come to greatly respect. All the other authors I've loved, like Leigh Bardugo, R.F. Kuang, Gillian Flynn, I have read them in the past, so I can just say them again, including Shauna McGuire. I can just say them again right now because it's not a new author. Question 8 is newest fictional crush. I don't do that. I don't have fictional crushes. I don't know, I just can't. I can't, really. But if I had to say one, I would say either Alex Stern from Ninth House or, wait a second, Naine Valmera from The Wheel of Time. I love Naine. I don't know why. I think it's because she's just so annoying and so up her own ass. You know, even though she's really caring, she's also completely stubborn, and she's such an easy character to hate. I think that's why I like her so much. I don't know, man. Question 9 is newest favorite character. So again, Nynaeve, actually, that's how you say her name, Nynaeve. And yeah, that's it, I think. It's because so many people, it's so easy to hate her. You know, it's so easy to say, ah, Nynaeve, why are you like that? Why do you treat men like that? Why are you so annoying? Why are you so stubborn? And that's why I love her. She's just so stubborn and she just does not give a shit. And I love her. Again, Alex Stern, also another one who's just been through so much trauma, and I admire her so much, even though she doesn't have the healthiest coping mechanisms. I just love her. I love Alex. I also have to say Amy Dunn from Gone Girl. Honestly, I'd let her frame me for murder anytime. Question 9 is book that made me cry. I cry a lot. I cry with like anything. I'm just a big crier. I'm sensitive like that. And I don't know. I don't think I've properly cried with any of these books. New books. I mean, Clyde. I cried plenty with rereads, but let's see. I have my bullet journal here. Let's see. Cried. Did I cry? Oh, I cried with King of Crows by Libba Bray, because I'm just a big softie, and anytime a character is hurting, I'm just gonna cry. Even though this is the 4th book in a series, a character is hurting. It was like, I love them so much. Yeah, this is a book I cried a lot with. Books that make me happy. So, The Honeymooners by Christina Lauren. I don't know why, that book was just a perfect companion to spend an afternoon with, just listening to this cute romance story, and I really liked it. And Get a Life, Chloe Brown, Something to Talk About. Romances just make me generally quite happy. Question number 12 is most beautiful book you've bought so far this year, and for that there is no other answer other than Shortfall by Robert Jackson Bennett. I don't think you can really tell. Let me be a beauty guru for a second. I don't think you can really tell, but this cover is stunning. And the colors are so beautiful, the drawing is beautiful, like the composition with this outside. I'm talking like I know anything about cover or art. Anyways, it's just so beautiful. I haven't been able to stop staring at this cover. Just full stop. Also, I haven't talked about this book. I love this cover. I don't know why, I just love it. I love the green, I love the thing here, and the gold. I love this cover. Question 13. What books do you need to read by the end of the year? All of my TBR pile, so I'm just gonna rattle off some names. I'm Sorry I'm Turned, 7 Blades in Black, Children of Time, Lovely War, Pretty Girls, Bloody Rose, House of Leaves, Empire Sand, Ember Spyglass, Little Women, Pet Cemetery, Sendland Ascends, Fury Born, where is it? Long Way to a Small Angry Planet, City of Blades, and The Blade Itself. Those are the ones that I most from my physical TBR that I most need to read by the end of the year, and I'm really hoping I can get to like at least 70% of them. Anyways, I'm gonna just put a picture here of my TBR shelf. If there's something you really love that you want me to read, let me know. And yeah, this was the mid-year book freakout tag. I hope you're not sick of this tag yet. And yeah, my name is Sophia. Don't forget to sign the petitions and donate if you can. And I'll see you next time. Bye.